Hello there, I am Pascal Hutton. I play Rosemary Coulter on When Calls the Heart. Did you know you can actually own all 12 seasons in a single box set? This is it, it's very thick, you can tell, they're all there. It's 70 hours of bonus content plus 139 episodes. It's called When Calls the Heart Elite Edition. You can find it right now online, or you can pick it up today at your local Walmart.
The When Calls the Heart After Show. With exclusive, never-before-seen interviews shot on location in Hope Valley as they were filming When Calls the Heart. Join the cast and the crew as they give you a first-hand, behind-the-scenes look at what it took to make Season 13 a reality. And now the host of the When Calls the Heart After Show, Elliot Wallach.
Welcome to the When Calls the Heart After Show. Wow, Season 13. I know a lot of you guys have watched every single episode, probably more than once, and the writers continue to push themselves and to push the show and see just someplace else they can take it. Viv Leacock's a fan. Tiffany's on the set talking to him first.
So Season 13, were you happy to be back on set?
Oh yeah, Season 13 and beyond, let's go. We're ready.
When you read the scripts for this season, what was your overall impression?
Just how amazing our writing team is. Look, to continue to come up with fresh ideas and moving ideas, stuff that's gonna get the audience interested, that stuff that gets the actors interested in, doing this stuff. That takes a lot. I don't know if people know how difficult it is to come up with storylines that move the plot forward, move everybody forward, don't go back on themselves. You do 100 episodes, you might go, hey, how about this idea? Oh, wait, we did that. Oh, I know. Oh, no, we did that too. That's how I'd be in the writer's room. So I bow down to our writing staff, and I'm just excited for everybody to see what's happening. Y'all don't even know what's coming. Yeah.
It's quite an achievement, I think, for any show. Not many shows get this far, and especially in this climate at the moment, I think it's really great to be able to come back for another season, for it to be just as popular, to be excited about it as much as I was in Season 8, for the audience to be just as excited about it. It doesn't happen all the time, so I'm very, very grateful for that.
And when you read the script for this season, especially episode 2 with the fire,
yes,
that Cooper and Toby maybe are responsible.
It was actually a really fun storyline to be part of. It was really nice to, obviously now Angela is at school. I think it was really important to find something to happen for Minnie and the rest of the family that was still as significant, because obviously Angela's storyline was a very significant part of many seasons. So where we are now, I think it gives Cooper's character a chance to have his own storyline, and it gives Minnie a slightly different direction, and hopefully for the audience to just see Minnie in a different light, because we have seen her in a few now.
Yeah.
Especially after last season and Angela leaving. So again, this year is another level for her, which is always exciting to be able to explore.
The heart of the Canfields has always kind of been how to navigate the world with their daughter, with Angela. Being in that she is vision impaired, the world back then, how difficult that would be. There's not a lot of things put in place. But Angela's gone off to college, like school for the blind. So this whole section of time when she's away from us, it's a tough thing. I mean, Vienna, my daughter, has been away from us. She's gone off to New York. She's gone off to a few places in pursuit of, she loves acting. She loves pursuing all things kind of connected to acting. And I don't like it when she's gone. I do not. I'll say there's a part of me that's missing. And so that is the same thing that's happening to Joseph. It's the same thing that's happening to me, is that, the kids are away and, a part of you is missing. So that is probably at the center of the Canfield's dynamic this season, in that Angela's away.
Well, then we get to focus on Cooper a little more.
We get to focus on Cooper, yes. Cooper and his growth spurt.
I was just going to say, what happened to Cooper? Yeah. I mean, Elias, he just shot up.
Yeah, he's very tall. And There's height in my family for sure. Like I have a nephew who's 6'8", so
Oh, 6'8"?
6'8".
Wow.
Yeah, I didn't get any of that height. but it's fine. It's fine. Yeah. So Elias is showing this growth spurt right now, and he's very tall.
There's a scene a little bit later in the episode or in the season where he runs away and leaves a note for Minnie, and she goes after him, but they hug.
Yeah.
And I thought, I wonder how that looks.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, I just saw it on the script.
He had to come down real low. That's such a crazy thing to look at them standing beside each other, because when we started the show, he was way smaller than her. Yeah, nothing marks the passage of time other than watching your kids, get taller than you.
I was a very small guy when I got here. I was the smallest in the family, so to be the tallest one on screen in for the Canfield, it's really really weird,
How old are you now?
I'm 15.
15. Okay, so are you 10th grade?
Yes.
Okay, so a couple more years. Yeah, but people probably think you're older than you are because you are so tall.
Yeah. A lot of people say 16, 17.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And Elias gets to kind of have his own little storyline this season. It's very cool to watch him take on what's going on with Cooper, and just everything that he's feeling about what has happened and his responsibility and how he's navigating that.
Did your dad work with you at all on tapping into those emotions? Did you guys discuss it?
Yeah. Basically, he told me, put yourself in Cooper's shoes. Like, how would you feel if this unfortunately happened to you in real life? So I really I went into Cooper's mind, and all the emotion came out on screen.
The note I gave him was that there's column A, column B. Column A is I did this for sure, and column B is I don't think I did this, or maybe I did. Maybe like you're not sure.
Not sure.
I said it's more in that column. We kind of reversed engineered everything. As soon as we go and find them, pull them out of the fire. The second that happens, he's already has to start kind of thinking about what might have happened. What, did I do this? And then it's just in the back of his mind until he actually says, I think I did this. And then it's for Joseph right away. He starts to pray, and it's that everything works out for everyone. It's not a save my son from this. It's not that. It's everything for everyone. And he just has faith that it will all work out.
And he's a rock for Minnie because the stress starts to show up on her, right? She starts baking jam.
Yes, starts making jam. It's like, what's all this jam going on? Yeah, she starts thinking that we have to raise more money for a lawyer, for a really good lawyer, because we're worried that charges are going to be brought up against the kid. And anybody who does have faith like Joseph, it's not like they don't worry.
Yeah.
They just put that worry on something else.
Why do you think she feels like it's her responsibility to come up with the money to fund the lawyer?
I think for her, it's a similar feeling I think she had with Angela as well in homeschooling her, making sure that she's there where she needs to be and when she needs to be, because I think it really plays on her that she wasn't there when Angela was sick and she couldn't do anything about it. So I think in any new scenario, she's going to make sure she does over and above what she needs to get something done. And I think this time she just thought, okay, it's time to open a business of my own.
So you had a scene where they were trapped in the fire.
That's right.
And she was worried. How do you tap into that emotion that I'm assuming you had to tap into,
Yes,
right?
I did.
To
I
do those
did.
scenes.
The minute he got off the horse and the horse rode up, and yes, there were stunts involved, so there was a lot of cut, switch, change and all of that. But you as the actor, you're staying in the moment. And so as soon as he got off that horse, it really had to be a real relief to see him. And it did become really, truly emotional to play. And it's really nice as an actor to be able to find that and to really be in those moments so they're authentic.
Do you find certain scenes more challenging for you?
Yes, I think it's because I have to figure out who Minnie is in that scenario. I think when you're playing a character for so many years, you have to find their dimensions. And when you usually play a certain genre or style in your scenes, and then you get thrown a scene that's completely different, you now have to figure out who is Minnie in this world. And that's always great to do as an actor, because that's what you want to do as an actor. You want to create a rounded, complex character.
Is there anything that you would want them to write for you as far as on an emotional beat that you would like to do?
I think the only thing she hasn't got to yet is a moment where she completely loses it and gets so beyond livid. I mean, she's gotten upset. We've seen that. And she's very good at holding it together. We've seen her have some fun. I think anger is the only one we haven't seen.
Well, she has a teenager, so
I feel like that's an easy transition.
Well, and I got to think it's easy for you to tap into those emotions about worrying about your kid when it is your kid, you know.
Yes. And yeah, so much of what is on my face when I'm watching Elias play Cooper, and Cooper's worried about his part in this fire, and Elias is doing his scene, and and you're hoping that your kid doesn't screw up. Yeah, that's the look on my face. Like it all kind of connects back. So this has been such a specific thing to work with my kids. It's such a different kind of set of circumstances than acting with anybody else.
Yeah.
Because it's for real. My reactions are, and it always is, but it goes beyond.
Sure.
That's the whole thing. So yeah.
There's this beautiful scene at the end of episode 4, and when I read it, I got emotional, and even thinking about it now, I start to feel choked up because my dad passed last October.
Oh, I'm so
yeah.
sorry.
Well, it's and what was so beautiful was, here are these 80-year-old men that all showed up to help my mom. They have 5 acres. Yeah. And when I read that I was like, it's tapping into things that we experience in real life.
Yes.
And to tell me about that scene and shooting that.
Yeah. So, so Joseph is kind of outside of directly influencing whatever happens with AJ. Lee and Joseph have a really cool conversation, about the way they feel about AJ, the way they feel about, just everything. Like, and there's such a cool scene between Cav and I, where these two really good friends, they don't even have to say much. Mm-hmm. It's like they start talking, and it's like not much has to be said, and they understand each other very, very well. Yeah, Joseph really kind of says, look, you need to forgive AJ. You don't want to walk around with that. You don't want that, because he's like, you finding out that Cooper was involved, and and it was an accident, and he's able to forgive Cooper. Mm-hmm. So Joseph's like, you should be able to forgive someone who didn't do this thing that you thought he did. You weren't right. You were wrong about that. And even in the face of, going through all everything that Joseph's going through, still has the wherewithal to be like, hey, you should really think about letting this guy off the hook.
The writers are so good at setting up those community scenes. I feel like even just the first 2 episodes had so much community in it. And I mean, that's obviously one of the reasons why it's so successful.
What they've done every year is they kind of always expand the universe. There are new characters that show up, along with the characters that have been around since season 1, to expand the universe and to keep, we keeping it moving, keeping this going. Because I know firsthand what it feels like to be a new character on the show and to be introduced. And, what happens is you get a turn kind of interacting with everybody. You interact with this character, and what's the dynamic? And then slowly they figure out, they connect on this level, and then they connect on this level, and now you have all these different relationships with different characters, and it's cool to watch that turn into its own thing. Like Lee and Joseph, they really started out being close, season 8, season 9, and then Joseph kind of went off to do more with the church, and to come back around to that relationship, that scene with Cav and I shot, what's so cool is all that history is sitting in that scene without referring to it at all. Everything that we do, and you know, I've known Kevin forever, but like, you know, I see him all the time now, and we've gotten closer. Like Kevin and I have gotten closer. So the dynamic between us in that scene, it's just so cool. I can't wait for everybody to see that scene. It's such a cool scene. It was to the point we shot it, and everybody, all the crew were like, that was really good. Everybody was like, that was a really good scene. We're like, yeah, we know.
Kevin said there are certain scenes like that you get done and you're like,
yeah,
that's why we do this job.
Yeah,
that was fun.
You know immediately, and so it leads to everything that you see happening with AJ. And it's cool. It's a really cool scene, and I'm glad that you know, Joseph's in the scene where they show up to help rebuild. But it's kind of, he just hangs back. It's like, no, that's you, Lee. You go. You know what to say. It's really cool.
I think that Kevin McNulty plays the character really well. He's got this really kind of despicable kind of delivery and draw, and we are very short on despicable people. Hope Valley is full of nice people.
It's really true.
It is.
I
true.
mean, Henry's
Henry's a nice guy now. So, and it was interesting because we were talking about this, and Kevin, who was obviously plays the Mountie, was talking about. He's like, yeah, we need this bad guy. We got to keep him a bad guy. And then we read how this turns out, and I read it and I'm like, oh my God, it's so cute. Not a bad guy, but so cute. Yes. So then Kevin read it and he's like, you're right. It's really cute. And then we shot the scene a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
And it's just adorable.
Yes.
Yeah, it was really good. So a great character, quite despicable. Lee wants to dump it all on his lap, and then the story takes a pivot.
When I read that scene, I got emotional. Like, I felt like crying a little bit.
Yeah.
When you read scenes like that, does it kind of pull at your heartstrings?
Absolutely. I don't know that I would say that was like, I was teary on that one, but it was more sweet and unexpected. Like, I really didn't know where that scene was going. I really didn't know what they were going to do with that. And I wasn't sure. Sometimes you read on the page and you think, this is sweet or heartfelt, and then you see the performance and you're like, ee.
Yeah.
It's not, or the way it's set up, or how many actors are involved, and it takes away some. Sometimes it adds, but sometimes you're like, you don't know how this is going to go. But that particular scene was a culmination of other things. It was the right director, the right blocking, the right cast members involved, and then the little kitten just pops out of the basket like one of those little ground squirrels you hit with the game, but just like so quick and so cute. It was really the way it came off. And there's been a few scenes this season so far that have been, if not tearjerkers, certainly emotional.
Yeah.
Yeah. And more to come, I think.
So what's going to bring out emotion more than a baby kitten? I mean, it's like not even fair. Now, when you get the baby kitten, that can create some challenges in the house, but nothing like being a newlywed and having your big sister come and live with you for a while. Tiffany is on the set with Amanda Wong talking about just that challenge.
So how do you think May is feeling about having Maisie move in?
She really wanted Maisie to move in. She was the one who was encouraging it. And I think that there was a little bit of resistance on Mike's end because, they haven't lived together for a really long time, at least 10 years since he's been in Hope Valley and she's been in Benson Hills. And, even in previous seasons, you can really see the dynamic of Maisie being the much older sibling, always telling Mike what to do, and Mike being the youngest of 5 sisters and then the last son. There's kind of a babying of Mike that Mike doesn't necessarily want. And in the previous seasons also, when May's introduced to the family, Mike starts to step into his adult self.
Yeah.
Versus kind of reverting back to his kind of original role as the baby of the family. And so we see more of that come into play here, and him standing up to Maisie and May supporting his journey and his growth as from the younger brother to just a peer.
I think having a wife helps with that, right?
Yeah.
I think it helps sort of mature.
Yeah, I think
he has
so.
someone else to take care of.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I think also because May comes into Mike's life when he's already kind of becoming more confident in himself. So she hasn't seen this baby version of him until Maisie kind of comes into the picture a little bit. And so the dynamic shifts, and May sees that he is this confident, decisive person at times, but then around his sister and his mom, he may not be as much. And so she really wants him to like step into that confidence and show them that he's also doing okay and he can make his own choices. But for May, I think family has always been really important, and Mike obviously knows that, and that's why they got married when they did, because Beau was coming into town. So the theme around May and Mike has always been family.
So how would you describe Maisie's relationship with May?
I think there's a lot of love there. I think Maisie knows that May knows how May sees Maisie. Okay, that's a long way around to explain something. I think they both know that we know exactly how I am, and I don't make apologies for it. And I know that that May kind of puts up with it, but I don't think Maisie would ever push May to a place where she was uncomfortable with it. I think Maisie knows how to soften it for May. Not that May can't handle it, she can. But I think Maisie's smart enough to know how to communicate with people. And I also think she loves anybody that's going to make her brother happy.
Yeah.
So I think that's number one. She does need some gal pals. She doesn't have any. And even if May's forced into being my friend because she is married to my brother, I think there's love there. I think they're apples and oranges, but I don't think that doesn't mean you can't be close and appreciate each other and know where the other one comes from, which I think is important.
For May, because she only has one brother, and, we never really addressed what happened with her parents and things like that, but there's this like kind of sadness of being alone, and with Mike in her life, that's the family that she now has. And so she really wants to embrace the family he has, because that's her family too. And so May has a line actually where she says, when I married Mike, I didn't just get a husband, I got 5 sisters. And so that's really impactful for her. And as a girl who doesn't have any sisters, similar to May, that is something that is quite meaningful too. Like, growing up, I've always wondered what it was like to have a sister and share clothes or whatnot. And I've never really experienced that. And for May, she also hasn't. And this kind of full embrace of Maisie. And there's something that Maisie says when they find the photo. And she says, when baby Mike was born, the parents have been wanting a baby boy for so long. And at that time, Maisie was already in her 20s. And so I think what May thinks, and it's also what Amanda had thought while I was playing the scene, is this young woman had to grow up really fast. And maybe she was, in a way, not neglected, but she loves her brother so much. But I think that this focus on this baby boy and this baby brother was so much on him that maybe in a way she kind of put others before herself. And that kind of sacrificial feeling is kind of relatable to everybody, I would say. And so when Maisie had told me that, I think that Amanda, really heard the woman, Samantha Ferris, say it. And there was something that really tugged at my heartstrings when she was saying it. And we both kind of teared up when she was telling the story.
I think you tapped into something there, because Maisie, the character, is really looking out for her townspeople. And she doesn't want to come move in at first. She needs to be in the saloon. She wants to be there for them, and she's taken on that role.
Yeah. It's very much like, I feel like the oldest daughter kind of, I think there's something to be said about birth order in these kind of ways. And she does take care of the family, and she is, in a way, Mike's other mother. And I think she takes on a very mothering and controlling and nurturing role when it comes to her people as well in Benson Hills. And not just her family, but in the family as well. Quite matriarchal.
So Maisie's here, the Benson Hills people are here, and the community is stepping up. And one of the things they're doing is donating clothes.
Oh, yeah.
So
yeah.
I love the scene where Maisie takes it upon herself. I don't know, tell me about it.
They're getting a lot of Mike and May's clothes. Maybe more than Mike and May would like to have donated, including things with a lot of sentimental value, hats that we just purchased in Miami on our honeymoon, my wedding suit. It's clear that she would like to reorder our closets quite a bit.
Yeah.
And so we've got to step up. This is one of those first inklings that Mike is going to have to step up and actually maybe say something to his sister for once.
It was funny because Pascal was the one who was like, did you read the script yet? And I was like, I haven't read it yet. And he goes, well, Maisie tells you that you don't have good style. I'm like, me? My character? I feel like I'm like pretty decently dressed in the show. But she's like, yeah, you and May, 2 peas in a pod. And we're like, aw. And then she goes, poor taste, both of you, terrible style. And we're like, what? Yeah, so.
Do you think it was a good idea that he convinced her to come and move in?
I think, family is something that is really important. And it doesn't mean, you always love them, even if you don't always like them. And I want to be clear, that's Mike talking about Maisie. My family, anybody who's watching, I love and like all of you.
They're welcome to move in with you, is what you're saying?
yeah, anytime.
Yeah. What I love is that they sort of have a coming to the meeting of the minds, and then we move to the Oliver birthday party, and it comes time for Maisie to give the gift. So we think maybe Maisie has come to terms with that she doesn't need to dress Mike, that she doesn't, right? Mike's his own person. I don't know. Tell me about the gift that she gives to Oliver.
Well, it's one of Hickham's ties. Yeah. She does manage to get one last little blow in there. While doing a nice thing.
Yeah.
And, jury's going to be out. I don't know what the writers intended in terms of it being a red tie. The only red tie I'm aware of is my wedding tie. So in my mind, she gave away my wedding tie. Yeah. Oliver should be looking over his shoulder. I'm going to be coming for that thing.
You know what? I get these great scenes. Like, I get these really meaningful... I know that When Calls the Heart, one of the greatest things about this show is there's always a message, but it doesn't beat you over the head.
Yes.
It's just a very kind, and we need this right now in life, let's be honest. We need so much of this right now. And I cried when I read that scene. I cried because it's so lovely, and it's subtle. And there's a joke in there, but it's, there's a message that, God, there's so many different messages, but it's kindness and love and support and communal support. And communal support is so incredibly important. Like I said, world is a scary place right now. We just have to admit that. And When Calls the Heart offers something that's just so kind. The last scene when they all show up at the end to build to that nasty man's house.
Yes.
And they all show up to help him. I cried when I read that.
I cried too when I read it.
Yeah.
It really got me.
Yeah.
There was something so special about it.
Yeah, it's just human kindness at its best. And I think, and it's all, the characters that people that watch this show love, all coming together to help out. Even though he may not be a very friendly guy, it's about humanity and about helping each other out.
Yeah.
And I think that's the message there. And that birthday scene when I go up to that kid and I say, happy birthday, and I wasn't going to go.
Yeah.
But again, it's a vulnerability because this town has such a strong sense of community. And when times are down, everybody comes together. And I think that's the biggest message there. And that's what we really need right now.
Yeah. And then he opens it and it's Mike's tie.
Yeah. And he doesn't really, he's like, I just love the look on his face. He kind of looks and he goes, and his face is frozen. He goes, thanks, Mayor Hickam. And then we hear the little, and that's, like I said, I get the little comedic relief. So, and she says, isn't that your tie? And I, don't worry, Michael, I left you the blue one. They always have to put that, I'm still in charge.
Yeah.
I love you, softness, but then Maisie still has to come out at the other end, running the show.
Let's talk about Oliver's party.
Yeah.
You've done several parties.
So many parties.
I know. So how did you approach this? Because I'm sure you want to make it different than what you've done before.
That is always the goal is, okay, we're on 13 years of parties.
Yeah.
How does this look different? And we haven't actually seen a party in the back of the cafe. It's not the easiest terrain, and we are kind of limited to our angles and what we can. So, and the script was had such strong points of what they wanted, and they really needed to tell that story. And so I wanted to certainly serve that. And luckily we had beautiful weather and it was great. And Kristen was directing that. And they wanted to have Allie basically throw him kind of 18 birthdays. I collaborated a lot with our set deck team and our props team. Like, okay, what have we got? Like, what represents this age and this age and this age? And so we really worked together and kind of pulling all of these little fun elements like sports and games and different things like and things also, of course, things that we knew about him, you know, Mountie. And I came up with some like really lovely little slogans with our art department and we also wanted it to be really like homegrown and community. Allie really just pulls us off kind of just with her heart, with not a lot of time, not unlike what we do on the show. A lot of heart, not a lot of time. And so having found items and like, you know, she would have just grabbed this and grabbed that and put it all together into this like beautiful fun. And it was also a time in our story of bringing the rest of the community in and trying to integrate these Benson Hills kids and making everyone feel like welcome. And so it was just this really beautiful opportunity to do that.
What did you think of that set when you saw that and sort of the idea behind it with each year being celebrated?
Yeah, it was really clever. And it was a lot of fun to shoot in the back because you could just be like playing around with all these like gadgets. But yeah, it was really fun. It was surprising. I was surprised to see that in the script.
Didn't you give a speech kind of to the group?
Yeah, I did. I was just like out loud, just gave a little speech, quick speech.
I haven't seen it yet. Were you? Was there a large crowd that were there when you were giving it? Does that make you nervous when there's a huge cast and you're sort of, you know, center stage?
I mean, it was definitely one of the more nerve-wracking scenes I've done.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, once you do it like 3 or 4 times, you kind of get used to it.
Right.
Yeah.
So the birthday, they did, you know, the fun, different things for each year up to 18. Are you a big birthday guy? Do you do big celebrations, themes? No. You don't?
No, I never really do. I mean, this year I did actually.
You did?
And it was, I think 2 or 3 days before my actual birthday.
Okay.
So they were pretty close, but yeah.
Oh. You mean that scene was a few days before your birthday?
Yeah, my actual birthday.
Oh, so it sort of felt like your own birthday celebration.
Yeah. Yeah. And then I did do an actual party for my birthday after, so
you did.
That was like the first one in a while.
Allie is interested in doing a birthday party for Oliver. Why do you think why that is so important for her to do that for him?
I think it's because Allie likes to be appreciated. As much as she doesn't like attention, she does. Okay. She knows that that Oliver has never had a birthday party before, and she wants to show her appreciation to him for being her friend. And also, she does a little bit like him, right? So she wants to do something nice for him, and so she throws this party. And apparently, she's very good at throwing parties because her decorations on Allie's party and Oliver's party were both really great. So I'm a good decorator. Just kidding.
Walk me through the decorations. I mean, how did Sarah and her team do? Like,
they did great. I loved it. They had this like balloon thing of an 18 on like pitchforks, and we have Ben and Amanda come in and like stick it in the ground. We did this really cool oneer to show like all the characters placing things everywhere. I thought they killed it. It was really great.
Now, when you say oneer, what does that mean? For those of us who aren't in the business, I know what you mean.
Yes.
Right?
It was a one-take shot. So we started at the back of the party, and then we just kept going, and there's like a lot of moving pieces with it. And there was a bunch of tables with like each sort of for a birthday that he missed. So like something for when he was 5, something for 8. So we like walked through those tables as well.
Highlighting what was on the table and just the process of everybody helping to pull it together. So with like, you know, LJ hanging up the happy birthday sign and Goldie and them actually making the letters of happy birthday Oliver, and you know, Minnie bringing out the cupcakes and Bill setting up the sign. So the camera really did highlight, and it told that story as well. So it's like, we've got this party, but look at this community coming together for somebody that they've only recently met and have brought into their lives, and who they love, and then who also just deserves this. So she was really smart how she used the camera to do that.
And there were a lot of new kids, right? All the Benson Hills kids are here. How has it been having all these new people on set?
It's very fun. All the kids, they're so sweet, and they're very cute, and they're very excited to be here, which is nice. It's nice to all hang out and play games together, and in the green room we're all sitting and we're hanging out and chatting and getting to know each other, and yeah, they're very nice.
Does it change the dynamic to have like new energy with people come on set?
Well, it doesn't change it per se, but more adds to it. Like, I feel like I'm the oldest kid now in the schoolhouse, and I feel like sort of a big sister to them this year, which is really fun to have new children to hang out with.
And I'm sure you can relate. You know, when you came on, how old were you when you started?
I think I was 10 or 11, I
Okay.
want to say.
Yeah,
Long
so you
time.
can relate.
Yes, I can.
So we also, at the birthday party or after the birthday party, you give Oliver a gift, but he also gives you a gift. And I have to tell you, I was so happy when I saw that he was going to give you that gift that he had from last season. Because I thought, well, that they just left us hanging.
I know. I've been wondering what was in that box.
Yes.
I was like, was it a locket? Was it a pin? Like,
Yes.
what? Oh, I was so happy when I saw that.
Yeah. What did you think when you saw what it was going to be?
Oh, I was very excited. It was so fitting because I was like, it's something that Allie will use and it's going to go in her bag now. And it's a wolf because, you know, they did their whole wolf project together. So it's more sentimental as well. So I was pleased with it. Mm-hmm.
And is she impressed with Oliver with his poetry reading and... Right?
I think she is. I think she is. Because he took an interest in her, and I think that's important. And so the scene where he does give me the present and I give him his, I think it's sort of a realization for both of them, like, oh, like, could there be something more here, you know? And so we'll have to see what happens.
And that concludes this episode of the When Calls the Heart After Show. Don't forget, you can get the entire after show, all 12 of them, plus a ton of other bonus content. Not even sure how we're going to fit it all on the DVDs on the When Calls the Heart Season 13 Collector's Edition. You can find that at whencallstheheart.com. And then also the Elite Edition that you can find right now. You can find it online, Amazon, and of course at Walmart, just waiting for you. 70 hours of bonus content. That'll keep you busy till Season 14. In the meantime, we'll see you next time right here on the When Calls the Heart After Show.